Hello, Andrew Hewlett here with my questions for God. And the question that I'm grappling with today is the question, do I need to prove God's existence for my faith in God to be valid? And I've often wrestled with this because I have people coming up to me from time to time and saying, Andrew, prove to me God exists and then I will believe. And the problem is I'm not able to do that. And I've asked God, why is that? It would make things so much easier if I could just lay out a simple formula like 2 + 2 = 4, and it would intellectually coerce people into believing, and it would be just so much easier that way. Now, there's all kinds of different philosophical angles on that, and some people would point out that since God is outside of space and time, science really only deals with the here and now, the tangible, what we can do experiments with. So God isn't really the subject of proof in a scientific sort of way. It's not, science isn't really competent to do that. But I still get frustrated. I still think it would be so easy if I could do that. The reality is, the key point here is there are very few things in reality that we can actually prove in a way that it just couldn't be otherwise. We can't trust our mind in such a way that we can prove that other minds exists. We can't trust can we completely trust our eyes and what we see out there to believe that it's giving us a clear picture of reality? Can I prove that my mother really loves me? You know, she could be an alien or something. Or can I really prove that my doctor is going to do good to me and that he's not secretly a terrorist going to kill me when I'm under the knife, under anesthetic or something like that? And, you know, no, we can't prove those things. In the same way, we can't prove God's existence. What we have to do in all these situations is to go where the evidence leads. And I talked about this in another video. So if somebody demands proof of God, I mean, I could understand that. But the reality is, I think they've got to, they have a limited understanding of reality if they're going to say, I'm not going to believe something unless you prove it to me, because there are very few things that we can prove in that way. So we have to see where the evidence leads. Philosopher Rene Descartes, I think, talked about that, about there are very few things that we can absolutely know or prove. So we have to go where the evidence is. And I'm not going to unpack this all right now, but I think there is good evidence. Evidence that for the world's existence, there needs to be a transcendent cause outside of space and time. I believe there's the evidence of the fine-tuning of the universe. And I may have quoted before a physicist and astrophysicist, Fred Hoyle from Cambridge, who said, a common sense interpretation of the facts suggests that a super intellect has monkeyed with the physics as well as with chemistry and biology, and that there is no blind forces worth speaking about in nature. The numbers one calculates from the facts seem to me so overwhelming as to put this conclusion almost beyond question. That's from physicist Fred Hoyle. So again, the origins of the universe and reality in general, the fine-tuning of the universe, objective morals rather than just objective feelings. If morality is real, if there are really moral obligations, it has to be based on something transcendent, and they can't just arrive from a purely random evolutionary process. It just doesn't make sense. And I would also point to the historical arguments too, surrounding the life and the person of Jesus Christ. Now, I think it's also too that the counter side of this, to see various absurdities that arise if we believe that this universe, this reality, just comes out of a purely random, unguided events in the world. So there's this sort of counter side of that as well. I think again of well-known atheist Anthony Flew, probably the most well-known atheist in the world, Anthony Flew, who later in his life changed his mind from being an atheist to believing in God. And when he was asked about how he could possibly do this, how he could possibly abandon his atheism, he said, what we have to do is go where the evidence lies. And that really came about looking at, the complexities of the universe through fine-tuning from DNA and what appears to be design in the universe. You have to go where the evidence leads. Now, I still wish I could prove God's existence, but it doesn't bother me as much anymore, realizing that most things in reality we can't absolutely prove that way. I do believe that my mother loves me. I believe that there are other minds in the universe. I do believe that I can trust or have faith in my doctor, and I do believe there is a God. And this should open us up to the possibility that God has revealed himself in and through the person of Jesus Christ. Anyways, that's all I have for today, and I promised I'd close with a joke. And this is an ad. I don't know if it's true or not. There was an ad in the paper looking for a man looking for a lost dog, and it says, notice, dog with only 3 legs, tail missing, blind in one eye, recently castrated. Answers to the name Lucky. And of course, the truth is the dog is lucky because he's got an owner that actually loves him and is looking for him. Anyways, thank you, and God bless. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.